Welcome back everybody, Kai Swans here with another episode of Football Manager 2017 with Bristol Rovers. And I don't know if I mentioned last time, youth facilities being upgraded, but that's a weird way to start the episode because clearly what you're interested in is the new season. It's the start of a new year, football year that is, and we've got a whole load of transfers to go through, so here they are. As you can see, once again, a lot of players in and a lot of players out. These were all, mostly anyway, players who sort of were bit parts last season, lots of loans to try and get players off the wage bill, a couple of full proper transfers. Danny Redmond for 250k, pretty pleased to get a decent fee for him. Could have got more maybe, but he was upset, and maybe not quite good enough, although he did very well towards the end of his time at the club. But not quite the calibre of player I wanted. DJ Bavonge out on loan. I tried him towards the end of last season. He wasn't good enough, frankly. In fact, we can see how many times he played, and I don't think it's going to be many. 7 games he played at the end of last season. Kirk Broadfoot, very good centre-back, but with 5 acceleration and 7 pace, just too slow. Couldn't risk him. Last season was risky enough, and it didn't pay off. Whole load of players, as you can see going through this list, who were instrumental in League 1, but could not make the step up last season and suffered, and as a result were just released. Some of them are youth players, and some just never were going to have any luck under me. And the final set of loans was just to reduce the wage bill. Recently, getting 20k a month for him is pretty good. Yeah, he wasn't going to be good enough, especially when you see some of the transfers we've made in. Mencha, Hostika, bit of a mistake, I regret signing this guy. And Ledbetter, just to get his wages down. He was on 3.7k, which is a lot compared to the rest of the squad, and just frankly wasn't good enough. But now for the ends, the bit everybody's excited about, and what order should I do? I'll just do it in the order they came in. Now, a lot of the initial loans were sort of just like, I can get this guy, sign him, see if I want to keep him. And as you can see, we've got a lot of loan needs at the moment, as usual. But the good news is this season, they're not so influential in the starting 11. They're mostly on the subs bench and rotation options, which is very useful for me. The first player we got in was Danilo Pantic, attacking midfielder, very skillful, technique passing, an advanced playmaker, Chakwatista-esque player. So in that attacking midfield spot, bit of flair, bit of creativity, break down defences if we play with an attacking midfielder. George Seville on a free. This guy at the time I was pleased to get because I didn't know what standard of players I'd be able to get. Unfortunately now he looks like he might have been the weak link of all the transfers, on a fairly hefty wage, 4.6k a week, and not quite good enough in my opinion for the team. I'm regretting this one, but he was like the second transfer I made, so I wasn't to know who I would be able to get and who I wouldn't. Since then, Kazia Sterling, very pleased with this loan. Fast player, good finishing, good off the ball, good composure, can also play on both wings. This guy looks very good, not quite got the concentration or decision making, but high flair. Passing isn't the best, technique isn't the best unfortunately, but he's got good dribbling. A very good winger slash striker who can play in both positions very well. And Nwaki, player who, actually I've got to click on him to show you why I signed him. He's not the best, you can see his attributes are decent, very good physically, some good like tackling, passing, but mainly I got him because look at his positional versatility. He can be left back, centre back, right back, defensive mid, central mid and attacking mid. Perfect. I can just leave him, barely play him, and whenever we have an injury crisis he's straight in, any position, as long as it's not winger or striker, any other position he can come in and do a job for us. Jamie Vardy, I mainly got him for his name, but he's a fast, hard-working central midfielder. That's all he is, frankly. He's not going to play often, I should hope, but his pace might do something when he is brought in. But on a free, all the loans not paying their wages, they're just, I can throw them away if it doesn't work. The main transfer that we made was a free transfer for Kevin Mbabi. High wages, 7.75k, but I could not find a better centre back who I'd be able to afford, and essentially my transfer budget was roughly 100,000, so little to no money. This was the best I could find. Very well-rounded attributes. He can also do the playmaking style. I think he can play right back. Yeah, he can also play right back. And yeah, he's got it all. If we here click ball playing defender, okay, vision and technique aside, he's got all the skills necessary. Also 12 acceleration, 13 pace. He might still be able to do a job in the Prem. Not quite, but he'd certainly be a decent third choice in the Prem. Next up, Marco Bola, same again. This guy can play left back though. A fast 20-year-old now. He wasn't 19 when I signed him. That's a lie. 20-year-old. some good attributes and decently fast. So yeah, these two are they're going to be backups once we get promoted, which is something we kind of need to think about, is having players who are capable in the Prem as well for the future, and I think these two can just about do a job. Here in Boateng we signed on a full deal, also on high wages, 4.5k a week, not the fastest, but as he's proven in his 2 seasons here, he's very reliable, competent and left-footed, which I do really like. Pretty strong, tall, big, box-to-box midfielder, has a lot of strengths and can do any job. And again, with this guy, when we get promoted, he'd still be good as a second choice midfielder. Does it say he can? No, he can't improve anymore apparently, according to this coach. But I'm pleased these three are going to be with us not just this season but next season as well. And whenever we get promoted, they will hopefully still be staying, and they'll be bench warmers at the time. Not a very nice thing to say to them. Then 4 loans, 2 of which were from West Ham, 2 centre backs. Grant Cran, an improvement on Josh Pask, who we obviously had last season. Not quite as fast, but more well-rounded. You can see he's got better in the air, a bit better mentally, and at only 18 years old, he's a very good regen that West Ham have managed to get. And Josh Pask we had last season. Brandon Barker, very good winger, mainly on the left. Cuts in from the left wing. You can see he's a left-sided winger. And he's got some good attributes. Good long shots, can play inside forward as well if I decide to change formation. Yeah, I'm fairly pleased with this guy. He's decent. Josh Sims, another left winger from Southampton. Very fast, good dribbling, good first touch, good crossing. A more old-fashioned winger, whereas Brandon Barker can do a bit more, or is a bit better all round maybe. Joe Hilton, this guy's just come in as the third choice keeper, put him in the youth team. We didn't have a great well, I think we had a 19-year-old decent keeper, so this guy's an 18-year-old, goes down there, £500 a week. Is very little for what could sell him on in the future. If we have an injury crisis, he'd be very useful to have in goal. And then the final 3, 2 loans. Joe Powell, midfielder, sort of a replacement for Danilo Pantic, who we got earlier. Same style of player, just not quite as good, but very determined. Again, this guy gives us a lot of choices off the bench with his loan. Tony Martinez, striker, strong and fast, good in the air and fast, an ideal target man. Basically my replacement because I couldn't get Ollie McBurney. Can we compare him to Ollie? No, let's find Ollie McBurney. Where is he now? Is he at Aberdeen? Yeah, he is at Aberdeen. I thought he was. And compare him with Tony Martinez, and we can see. Okay, Ollie McBurney has a lot of strengths that Tony didn't, but you can see in the heading, finishing, dribbling, physical. Okay, Ollie McBurney's better, but Tony Martinez is simply the replacement for him. And finally, Ryan Tunnicliffe, who many of you probably know, former Ipswich player, but that's not where you know him from. You know him from Manchester United, I reckon. Been there spent there quite a few years there, on loan at Peterborough in his time there at Barnsley. Played then for Fulham in the Championship. Oh yeah, they signed him when he was in the Prem, I remember that now. And played for Fulham in the Championship. And Blackburn on loan. So yeah, he's a decent box-to-box midfielder, another player who I reckon could make it in the Prem. This was a saga that lasted the entire summer trying to sign him. I had him on trial for 4 weeks, and I kept offering contracts, and they kept setting it, like, you know, when it goes yellow and they won't negotiate anymore, at 6k a week, and I wasn't willing to pay that much for him, but I managed to get it down to 5k. Do we have any minimum fee release goes 1.6 million. Don't really care too much if I get 1.6 million for a player. No player's worth that much to me, essentially, apart from my striker. Who is it? Nicholas Juckerline. This guy, he's worth that much to me. He's very good. But that does mean I should really show you the squad, and here it is, sorted by position. So we got Maxwell, as usual, first choice, and Fredrickson, the backup, competent, very experienced, a 36-year-old former Finnish international player. He's a brilliant backup to have on a very low wage. Right back, we've got 2 options after dropping Leadbitter, Jack Grimmer and Jordan Williams being those. We've got other options should they get injuries, or should I want to play Jordan Williams somewhere else. We have other players who are competent at right back. Left back, we've got 3, but Reitler and Bowden will really be the main 2, because Mark Bowler can also play centre back, where we do have a fair few players capable. Peter Hartley may be losing his first team position, as Mbabu and Lockyer are now my 2 favoured centre backs. They're very good. I'm very pleased with them. Tom Lockyer, having been at the club for a long time, has really been instrumental in during their fall and their rise back up to the Championship at where we are now. He's been very good for us. Midfield, we've got a whole load of players. Nwakali is more an all-round backup for every position, but here we see the list, and the best three: Kane, Boateng, and Tunnicliffe, we all own, and Seville, the fourth choice, are all owned, so we're not relying on loans in the centre park like we were last season, which is very useful, but we do still have Pantic and Joe Powell, who can play those more attacking positions. On the wings, we've got Isoko and Dermot are my first choice as per last season, and then Barker and Sims can come on at any point, as can Sterling, and up front, Jokalainen cemented his place, Matty Taylor and Tony Fernandes, the backups. And we've had an incredible start in the season so far. Well, we started off with 4 wins and then drew the last 2 league games and won a cup game between, but it did take us extra time to beat Cardiff. I'll go through them. Pre-season doesn't really matter, but as you can see, fairly mixed results. We should maybe have done better against the likes of Wolves and the Leeds, but we did very well against West Ham. I don't play these games, obviously. I let the assistant play them, but I do like to just double check what we did in them, and apparently West Ham we did well against, which is good signs. 2-0 against Cardiff to open the league, a very good home win. Boateng and Kazay Sterling getting an off the bench goal, and yeah, he's very good. I found very fast, is very nice. Not quite as fast as Kim Wai, but we couldn't get him again. Lots of players we had last season tried to loan him again. They wanted wages. No chance, not loaning a player for wages, it's too expensive. Wimbledon beat them 3-0 away, fairly easy game. Yeah, you can just see that game was clearly a easy one. 2-1 against Fulham, a lot of rotation to start season because I was not sure what my best 11 was, and this 2-1 against Weven. Fulham should have been a lot easier, but unfortunately we could not put away as many shots as we'd like, and Fulham did get a goal late on. I was a bit worried for the last 7 or 8 minutes, but yeah, we held on. Beat Blackburn 5-3 in an insane game. Goals galore for both of us. We went up. What was it? 4-0 up. 5-1 up. There you go. Yeah, you can see it if you look at the score times. 5-1 up at half time, and I was like, oh, in the clear. And then in the second half, when they scored their second, I was a bit worried. But we held on. 5 goals. You don't lose when you score 5 goals. And we continued to concede 3 goals against Brentford away. A bit disappointing. Really would have liked to win this one. Should have, in all honesty. But a very late goal by both teams put us to test. But yeah, we were the better side, and we really should have won. I'm very disappointed in that one. Yeah, was pretty annoyed. Then it took us till extra time to beat Cardiff. We were not quite good enough, but yeah, it was a fight back. They scored and just sat back, and we had to fight for this win. And we dominated the game, but just didn't create any decent chances. And it was substitutions that helped us out big time. Tony Fernandes offering a different threat up top because they were sitting so deep. The pace of Casio was just worthless. And then finally Derby 1-1. Again, maybe should have done better, but this time Tony Fernandes did the job as a striker and knocked the ball in, which is really what I want from him. So today we're playing Sheffield Wednesday. This is who I decided to start the season against because they were 4th. It was between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday and 4th, Derby are in the lower reaches of the table, although they're 15th now because they did draw against us. Yeah, so we can see the table here. We started off at first for the first few weeks, but then our recent draws have seen us drop down. We do have a game in hand on other teams, and if we win it, if we win by 2 goals, we would go back on top, which would be pretty nice. But the same can be said about Sheffield Wednesday, so we're both going for the same target essentially. Sheffield Wednesday slightly better goal difference, having beaten Villa, Huddersfield and Brentford, and drawn with Derby and Nottingham Forest, just like us. Oh no, Brentford we drew against. They beat Brentford. Oh, that's a good omen. Our season preview, we're expected to come bottom. Oh yeah, 1,000 to 1 odds of winning the league, so it's not good for us, but I believe in us. If we look at stats, our team wage bill is now the 2nd smallest in the league. There we go. We're 2.5 million below Charlton. Yeah, and they just got promoted. Our wage bill is tiny. Look it up here, 33 million. We've got 10% nearly off the wage bill of Hull. Let's find Hull's highest paid player. It's probably Ryan Mason. Contract. I know he's only getting paid 5%. Let's just skip through. We're going to find a player on extortionate wages. There we go. Who is that? Michael Dawson, 8%. We've nearly got his wage bill. 70k a week. We're on 110k a week. I'm diverging here, but what transfers? No. Finance board. Here we go. Wage bill, 110k a week. Sorry, I'm diverging, but I find this stuff interesting. Players, wage, they don't have anybody on 100k a week. Boya Baston, 70k a week. They signed Boya Baston. That's what I get from this. This guy is nearly worth the entirety of my squad, including youth teams and everything. That's quite good. 2 of him, and you'd be paying more than my squad. But that doesn't matter. Today's onto the team. I've picked the team already. It's my strongest 11 in my opinion. And absolutely no loanees in the first team, which is a great improvement on last season. So Maxwell in goal, Grimmer, Lockyer, and Babu and Reutler make up the back four. A lot stronger than last season in my opinion. They've all grown as players, gotten a lot better. They're only, 24, 27 is he? Oh, 23. Oh wow, he's young. And Babu 23. And Reutler 29, the only player who's actually aged in that back four, but they're all in that, like, heading into their peak age, which is very useful. A good back line, I'm pleased with them. Midfield trio of Kane, Boateng and Tunnicliffe, very pleased with them. Tunnicliffe not quite at match fitness because we only just signed him last week, so he's not had the chance to play for us that much, although he was playing the friendlies on trial. And then Isoko and McDermott, the wingers, and Jokalainen up front. This guy, the young Finnish player, 18 years old, is progressing brilliantly, and I'm trying my best to offer him a new contract, but I do not want a minimum fee release clause in there. Certainly not one that isn't just for teams above us in the division system, because I believe this guy could be absolutely incredible in the future, and I can't wait to use him to his full potential. But yeah, we're going to submit the team and get on with the game against Sheffield Wednesday. Here's our opposition day, and a lot of popular names in their team. Gary Hooper up front, the former Norwich striker, signed for big money a few seasons ago for them. Didn't quite make it as people had hoped. He didn't have a goal-scoring knack in the Premier League that he did in other leagues. Aidan McGeady, the very fast winger that Everton signed from Spartak Moscow a couple of seasons ago. Roberto, who's that? Santos, don't recognise that name. Let's have a quick look at him then. Santos, Renato Santos. Oh, I remember him. Yeah, Boavisto. I've vaguely heard of him. He's sort of one of those players who just ends up in the Championship in all FMs. Barry Banham, Abdi, ex-Villa and Watford players. George Vaughan, a very good youngster in the game in former FMs, especially Pudel. Former, what's the team? What team? Watford. It was Watford, wasn't it? Yeah, former Watford. They got him from Granada, the teams that they co-own. Lees, Paul McShane, and Joe Hunt, those three as recognised, and Joe Wildsmith, a player who I saw in last version of the game for Nürnberg and did very well for me. Sam Hutchinson on the bench is the name that jumps out to me. But yeah, that's the opposition playing similar formation to us, just a slightly more defensive midfield and more attacking fullbacks. Hopefully we have the greater set of players, and yeah, we'll get into the game using the standard always works. Passionate, you have faith. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you when the highlight happens. Oh, we'll watch it because this is the first game of the season for you guys. I'll let you see the highlights. The great time that is the team setting up. That you can see, you can not really see the formations. I'm talking bollocks. Now you can. You can see like the way our midfield trio is. It's nearly the same tactic, just more midfield dominance and less wing dominance. Essentially, that's the only difference between. Or there's more wide threat. I don't know how to explain it because I'm trying to compare it to their tactic. Essentially, we've got wider players than this sort of tactic and less dominance in this area because our fullbacks stay back instead of these guys who bomb forward. And we've got a bit more midfield dominance. The way we attack is essentially our three midfielders pass it between themselves and move forward as a line. It's very rugby-esque in a way. I don't know how I'm trying to explain this. I'll show you when a highlight happens. Half time's been Tony Martinez has gone on for Jokalainen, who had like a 6.3 in the first half, not good enough. Also looking at Isoko and Mbabu to do something better in the second half, else they'll be coming off. But if we can get a goal this early, McDermott, Tony Fernandez, Martinez, not Fernandez. That's the QPR owner, isn't it, Tony Fernandez? Anyway, yeah, 50 minutes on the clock. They've done a change as well. I'm looking at Mbabu. He's not. Oh, he's went up to 6.4. If he goes down to 6.3, he's coming off. If he goes to 6.5, he can stay on longer. And Isoko, okay, he's safe. But Isoko, I think, is coming off. Isoko and I had a big argument during pre-season, which did end in him getting a contract. It was about his contract. He wanted huge wages. Didn't want to give it to him. In the end, I decided he's good enough. And 6k a week isn't that much too much. It was a fair bit too much, but I put up with it. 6k a week was better than any player I could possibly get to replace him, or forcing him to stay in the side. And other players were a bit upset he wasn't getting contract. It was mainly Jokalainen actually was upset that he wasn't getting contract, and well, Jokalainen is possibly going to be my best player in the future. What a goal by Hiram Boateng. Absolute beauty. Oh, I hate this. This always happens in this bloody game. After a corner, some player stays there, doesn't interfere with play. No, we're going to watch that. I'm sorry, because that's annoying. No, play. Here you go. You see the corner. McDermott whips it in. It's cleared. Who is it? When it's passed back here, who is it? This guy. Oh, all of them are offside, and for some reason it's decided they're interfering with play. I personally don't think they're interfering with play, but the ref clearly does, and of course the keeper. It happens so many times. Like it's the. I've got used to goalkeepers being absolutely horrendous. Now that's the latest thing that annoys me, is the way that we just so many goals are counted as offside because the guy shot from distance, and for some reason someone being there means it's an offside. It's like in FIFA when you clear the ball and then there's an offside against you. Like, I wasn't aiming for that player. It was just the clearance ended up going there while he was offside. Yeah, anyway, offside rule in games, hard to enforce. Thank God Maxwell saved that. Can I just point out the stats here? We've got 59, oh, it was 61 a second ago, 59% of the ball, loads of attacks, and Boateng scored. Well, I was about to complain about how much we've been dominating this game and without scoring, and we've scored. Here on Boateng deservedly deserved to get a wonder strike earlier in the game. Did not get it, but he did get this one as Ryan Tunnicliffe played him through to tuck one home just inside the box, and we've completely dominated the game. 60% of the ball, 672 passes. Yeah, it's been a very good performance. 77% of the passes completed, not bad. I am aiming for that sort of 80% mark for a team would be good. So yeah, I will congratulate the team. We've got a win in our first live game of the episode. Seasons go top of the table just because we've scored so many goals, mainly due to a 5-3 win and a 3-3 draw. But yeah, we're maintaining an unbeaten record to start the season. That's really good news. I am pleased with that. Well done, guys. And next episode will be some way off. Bristol City. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? It might be a double header, Bristol City and Sunderland. I think it will. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I shall proceed ahead to this Bristol City game. Well, I'll see you next. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.